Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night team Zoom. I'm so excited to have you guys on tonight. I love Tuesday nights. This is so fun being able to connect with everybody and share ideas and inspiration. And so I'm excited, and it's November 1st. We're on a new month. I'm so pumped for what this month's going to bring. You guys did an awesome job last month. It was incredible how we closed the month with all the boom sales and people taking advantage of the holiday packs. And I know a lot of you got a ton of new loyal customers with the promotions. And so what's exciting about that is we know how you end the month before is how you start the new month. So we're starting this new month really strong. And crazy as it is, we only have 2 months left of this year of 2016, which it kind of blows me away. I feel like this year went so fast. But it's kind of the same thing, guys. The way we end these next 2 months is how we start 2017. And, with us coming into the holidays, we have Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. It's about to get really busy. And I know you guys know how that is. And so you can really use that time to build your business. I feel like when you're busy, that's when you're around a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people. So you can really take this time and use it to explode your last few months of the year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share with you guys about a couple things ideas that we're going to be talking about tonight. Is that a creep on me in the background? Okay, good to know. So what we're going to talk about tonight, we have 2 guests that are going to be sharing, 2 of our leaders that are going to be sharing with us, and I'm really excited. I need a pen. Because I know I'm going to be taking a lot of notes. So I'm excited because this time of year is a great time of year to get in front of people. There's a lot of opportunities right now with just different shopping things you might have going on. With holidays being here, you're going to be around a lot of family, a lot of friends, different parties. There's opportunities for a ton of fall different expos and Christmas expos and different things like that. And it's also a really great time for parties. And so I'm just going to jump right into our guests. I think, let's see, who wants to go first, Pam or Heidi? Heidi, okay. She just threw you out there. Sorry, Heidi. So let's talk a little bit about Expos. And I asked Heidi to get on because she just it was a bridal show, right? A bridal show. And you booked a ton of spa parties from the bridal show. Wasn't it like 9 parties or something crazy like that?
I'm at 11 so far, but I still have some more follow-up to do.
That is so awesome. So I always tell people, expos are awesome. I love doing expos. I've been doing them since the beginning of my business. And expos have changed a little bit as far as, I used to 6 years ago when I went to expos, I felt like I sold a lot more product and different things like that. I wrap more people than I do now, but I feel like the expos I do now, I don't sell as much at the shows, but I get so much more from my follow-up. So I always tell people, when you're doing these expos, you're going there to get leads. You're going there to create contacts, and it's really important for you to know that. Because if you are going to an expo planning on selling thousands of dollars of product, it's probably not going to happen. So you have to be committed to, if you are going to do an expo, you have to be committed to follow up. You have to be willing to do the work afterwards. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. You're basically throwing your money in the trash can, because expos are all about follow up and collecting leads. And so one thing I make sure that I always do when I do an expo is I'll do some sort of drawing. So right now, you could print out a little display and say, I'm doing a drawing for a free wrap, or you could say I'm doing a drawing for a free spa session, or a lot of times I'll just say I'm going to be doing a drawing for some free product. That way I can kind of offer a couple different things when I call my follow-up call my leads based on what they were kind of interested in. But what I do is I simply have like an expo or a little drawing slip, and it's just ask them for their name, their number, if they're on Facebook, and then on the bottom it asks what they're interested in, whether it's losing weight, having a party, or the opportunity. And I did post those expo slips that I use. I posted 2 different options in the file section of our team page last week. But that's a really easy tool that you can use, and you could even bring those to parties and have people fill them out at parties or whatever. But Heidi, share with us a little bit about what you do and how you got all of these spa parties from the show you just did, because that's awesome. It went from taking one lead to now you're opening the door to multiple people that you're going to be exposed to. So that's incredible.
Okay, so this was a bridal show, and it's one that I've done. I think this is the fourth or fifth year that I've done this show, and so I'm familiar with how it works. And it's been different every year. It's really weird. So this year and last year, actually, the organizers of the bridal show had a passport thing that our brides had to come around. They didn't have to, but they could. They could come around to each of the booths, and if they registered for participated in whatever we were doing at our table, then we would sign off on their little passport. And when they got all their passport spots signed off on by all the different vendors that they had to go, then they could go back to this other table and get a prize. And they played Plinko. There was a Plinko board there at that other table. So we provided like 10 prizes for the drawing. There were all different price ranges, all different kinds of vendors. Of course, these are mostly wedding vendors, so lots of different stuff. But what I did for that was I just did like I think I did 3 green samples because I was running low on greens on the go. And so I did 3 greens on the go and a wow in a little bag. And I folded my product pamphlet. I have one here. So I folded my product pamphlet up. So there's 3 wows or 3 greens and a wow. I put a blitz card in there, and then I folded the product pamphlet up there in there as well. And I also for this, and this is totally irrelevant to how I booked my parties, but it was a side note to the vendor thing. I did make a little quarter sheet of how to use WOW, because when you give them a packet, they don't get the box, so they don't get the directions on how to use it, and it's an important product to have a little bit of instruction on, because if people use too much, it's a mess. So I did just a little quick instructions just right off the box of how to use WOW, and made sure I put that if you use too much, you'll get a chalky residue, blah blah blah. So we did that. So the brides came around and we initialed their stuff, and when they came to our table, we had them register for our free spa party that we were giving away. So register for a free spa night, and so that's what we did. And I had 200 vendor, like 200 slips printed up for this particular event. I had some help from Sadie, which I don't know if she's on here. I'm not looking at everybody, but Sadie and I kind of powwowed because she's done quite a number of bridal shows as well and vendor shows. And so I had printed, these are specific to the bride shows. I do a slightly different version of it when I do a different vendor show. But anyway, 200 of these, and we ran out. And I had some of my spares, and so we used those. But we had like over 200 brides register at our table. It was crazy awesome. From 12 to 2, it was just busy, and that's really all we were doing. So we divided up the drawing slips, and we tried to keep the bridal parties together. So like if they came up and we let everybody register, moms and bridesmaids and all that, it wasn't just for the brides, it was for anybody at the show. So I did bring a stapler, and when they walked away from the table, we sort of just clumped all the brides that were kind of in the bridal party together, so that we weren't calling all 3 of them and saying, hey, you want a spa party? We were just calling one, generally the one who was most interested. Sometimes that was the bride and sometimes it wasn't. So I just sent him a text on Monday. Jess, I don't know if Jess is on here either, but Jess and I did the show together, and then on Monday night we got together and we just started texting all of our brides, or all of our winners. Everybody's a winner, right? So everybody wins a spa night. I think that's something that most maybe newer distributors don't realize, that like everybody wins. It's not just one person that you're going to draw and give a spa night. Everybody wins a spa night, and they can say no, and that's fine, and some of them don't respond, and that's fine. But everybody wins. So we just started texting them, and all I texted them was, hey, Tara, this is Heidi, the rap lady from Bridal Fantasy. You were my winner of a spa night. When would you like to schedule it? That's it. That's all I did. And that was from Sadie. I have to give Sadie all the props because she gave me all this texting. She sent it to me, and that's what she's been using. So I sent those messages out, and most of the time I got oh my gosh, I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. So then we started talking about dates. So I think I have my stack. So I have, let's see. This is my stack of people that said yes, or like I'm in conversation with these. And these are, like, some of them are stapled, so they're not all. And then these are my ones that I have. They're about equal that didn't respond yet. Or maybe they have and I haven't dug out their thing yet because it's been kind of crazy. And then I still have this many that I haven't even done anything with them yet. And so they're super excited. So when they ask me what it entails, and there's this response, so it's like I just copied and pasted it because it was kind of crazy. My phone was blowing up with messages. It was a description of the spa night. So the spa night is free for you and your you and 5 friends. I don't have my phone with me right now because it's charging. It just gave the basic verbiage of, you know, we'll sample some of our products. We'll have a lot of fun, blah blah blah, and just kind of gave the specifics of that. And that's it. That's it. So then we just started talking about dates. What nights do you have available? Blah, blah, blah. And I've gotten, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 parties for November and 2 for December so far. So that's what I did.
That's so awesome. And so, when you're telling them what the spa night entails or whatever, I try to stay away from the word party. Are you kind of the same?
Yeah, I call it spa night or a spa day or whatever.
People out, and I feel like when I started saying you want a spa night or a spa session, like, people were excited about it. And when I said, oh, you want a free party, they're like, well, I don't want to win a party. Like, that's doing something for you. You know what I mean? So I feel like that verbiage is really important. So what are you going to be doing when you do these spa sessions? Like, and I know you asked on the team page, but what's kind of your plan? And then, you know, after you kind of do them, maybe we can follow up with you and see, you know, how it went and stuff. But what's your plan?
Well, my plan is to do chin and neck wraps for everybody who's there. So free chin and neck wraps. And then actually I was just watching Denise's little 3-minute video response that she put in there, and I was taking notes on that just before we started. So I was kind of torn. I'm kind of torn between, you know, do I truly make it a spa night and, you know, do the cleanser and the toner? I've done that in the past and I always got orders from it. But I really, because I've got so many parties scheduled, I really wanted to kind of streamline and simplify it. So I think I'm going to do a couple facial products, probably just the cleanser and the toner, probably either the Repair Age and Prevent Age and the Lip and Eye and the Wow. I'm not going to do peels just because for the sake of time. They can do a peel on the back of their hand, but I don't want to incorporate it into the facial. And then a defining gel on their hand, as well as, of course, a fat fighter, a demo, and a greens, always greens. So that's my plan. And then, of course, offer wraps to them as well. And if the hostess has a certain number of people who wrap, she'll get $5 off for every person who comes that wraps as well, purchases a wrap. But they all get the chin and neck wrap free.
Yeah, I love that. So what you do for that, just for anybody who might not know, is all you do is you take a wrap and you can cut it into 6 pieces. And I know we used to have like a little diagram, but basically when it's like folded in half, all you do is cut the edge off, kind of the little wing part. Do you have one?
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, how do I describe this?
Yeah, so you can cut it. I mean, you can get at least like 6 chin and neck wraps out of here. So you can cut this off, and then you'll have 2 there, right? And then you'll have this part, and I cut it kind of just into like smiley faces. So they just do, you know, right under here. And I usually use like a wide cotton headband under their chin and over the top. It kind of covers their ears to keep it on in the right spot, but it works and it's pretty comfortable to wear that way. I don't plan to do, I mean, you could go through a lot of fab wrap, putting people in a chin neck wrap, so I think I'm just going to use my headbands. That's the game plan. But if anybody has any ideas on that, I'm certainly open to suggestion.
I do the same thing. I like those thick cloth headbands. So I have those in my bag at all times. Like sometimes I'll do one person in fab wrap just to, I don't know, just to show people. And then I usually will do the rest in like the headbands. But yeah, either one works. Or there's even, I've seen people that use that, like, I don't know what it is. It's like medical, like it's that squishy, like.
Sticks to itself?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, I guess, but that works really well too. It's like a bandage type thing.
I think pre-tape, like it's kind of like the fab wrap, but it's not as wide.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like it sticks together a little. It's not an ace bandage. Yeah, pre-wrap, somebody said, so that must be what it's called. I don't know. I know what it looks like. Awesome. I love that. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear how it goes. And if you could, do you have, like, I just wrote down a couple things. Do you have the WOW instructions that you could put, like, in, do you have them typed up or saved or no?
I do. I can't remember if I saved it or not, but I can certainly post it. It was just very simple, and I put 4 on a page so that it would be the same size as this.
Yeah.
So I just slipped it in there so that people would know what the heck it was and how to use it.
And I think that's important because that is a product that you need to know how to use it or it's going to end up a mess. And they're going to be like, what the heck is this? And I love the simplified little gift. You know, like you don't need a big, crazy, expensive gift. That's a great little gift to bring to drawing. So,
yeah, I have a couple leftovers that I think I'm going to do. Like my other plan is I tend to talk a lot. Like I just talk a lot. And so my challenge when I do parties is to get more interaction rather than me just blabbing at them the entire time. Like get more interaction and get them hooked up to my social media. So I'm going to do the Facebook thing where, you know, they're going to find me on Facebook. They're going to friend request me, that whole thing where they, you know, they post something and they tag me. And whoever gets the most likes at the end of the night, maybe you'll win this. Like this is a leftover from the bridal show, but why not? Like, why not give them this? You could do greens too. You could do whatever you have on hand, but it doesn't have to be expensive. People just want to win something. The other thing that I'm going to do as a hostess gift for my brides or whoever is the hostess is I'm going to make bath bombs with the essential oils and do a bath bomb. Since it's a spa night, just kind of go along with the theme, and it's super inexpensive. Like, you know, not everybody can afford to give away a bottle of Fat Fighters at every party, and so just to keep it duplicatable, you don't have to make bath bombs if you don't want to. You can make bath salts. I made bath salts, and I put them in these little cones. They're kind of hard now, but so I did that, and so I just put lemon and lavender essential oil in here. So this is just a little, so I'll probably bring those too to have as gifts. But that's super simple. If you have another idea that I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it for my spa parties or for these particular spa parties, but people like to do make and takes. Like it's super fun when you can go and, you know, people like to craft and they don't like to take the time to make stuff. So we're going to probably whip up some bath salts at some of my parties too, and they can take a little Ziploc bag of bath salts home with them because people like stuff like that. And it's cheap and it's easy and it's duplicatable and it incorporates products that we don't really have a lot of ways to demonstrate at a party. So anyway.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think this time of year, like with the essential oils, I mean, definitely use that to your advantage, guys, to get some parties on the books. Like, what a great way to say, like, why don't we get some girlfriends together and make teacher gifts or, you know, gifts for the people that we love. And, yeah, make bath bombs, make, you know, you can do the sugar scrubs. I just saw that one the other day. Those are super cute. And it's just another way that, you know, we're getting the product in front of people. You know, maybe you go there and you do everything to make the sugar scrubs or whatever, but you're still going to have a little display of our products out and people are going to ask questions about them. So it's just a really great way to open the door, and it's something different that not everybody's doing right now. So I definitely use that to your advantage, and this time of year is perfect for stuff like that.
Yeah.
So awesome. Very cool. We're going to go over to Pam, but at the end, I'll open it up to questions with whatever time we have left. So you might have a couple questions that people ask. But yeah, if you have, or if anybody else has any documents that they really love that kind of go along with what we're talking about, you know, maybe it's the Expo drawing sheet for brides or some of your text scripts. If you guys have that stuff, like anybody has that kind of stuff saved on a file, definitely let us know, because with the new page, we're definitely building up that library. And I didn't take a lot of the old documents and bring them over because I want us to get new, fresh, updated stuff. So if you guys have stuff that you're currently using, definitely let us know. Or Heidi, if you have anything that you were kind of talking about, that would be great to get on the team page. So awesome. Lots of ideas. Thank you so much, Heidi. And congrats. I can't wait to hear how they go.
You're the bomb, Heidi.
All right, let's hop over to Pam. You on, Pam?
Yeah, I was unmuting myself. I want to see you hop. Let's see it.
You what?
I want to see you hop. You said let's hop over to Pam.
Oh, I'm like, wait, what? Why am I?
It's not as funny when you have to explain it. Okay, anyway.
Okay. So I'm so excited to talk to you because you had an amazing October, like crazy. Like, yeah. Okay. So you signed. So how many loyal customers was it when it was all said and done that you signed last month?
I signed 17 loyal customers last month.
That is crazy. Like, I don't know. I think that's crazy, and that's so awesome. So what are you doing? Just take it away. Give us all you got.
I have a really, really big secret to share with everybody. It's gonna be mind-blowing, and it'll change your business forever. It's called hard work, consistency, and working with intention. No, so it is seriously. I wish that I had. Sorry, I just got off another Zoom, so I'm feeling a little bit like my poop is gone. So I'm looking for it. You know what? Here's the deal. I've been working really hard. I mean, I'm not lazy or anything, but you get kind of comfortable, or you get frustrated and discouraged, and maybe you're not doing as much as you should. And so I just made a decision this summer that enough was enough, and if anything was going to change about my business, it was going to be from me. That I'm the one that had the power, that I have control over it, and I was tired of listening to myself whine. I was tired of listening to other people whine, and I knew that I was made for more. And so I actually have been working quite hard since through July. It kind of all started in July, and really started working hard in August. I started a push group with some sideline leaders, and so got some different ideas, but mostly just got straight in my head and in my heart and got to work. And so consistency is key, is what I've done. I've worked every day very consistently on Instagram and on Facebook and talking with people. And most importantly, out of everything I've done, is I've worked very consistently every day on personal development. I've poured into myself every day. I have filled myself up with good thoughts and whatever. And I'm not saying that I'm the happy police. I have my days where Jeff's like, oh my God, what are you, would you stop it? What are you doing? Nobody's perfect. But I came to a place where I just knew, I have this belief, I've never had before, that I know I'm totally going to the top. And I own it. And, part of that personal development too was being okay with leaving the people on my team who I might love or might be really, really good friends with, but aren't working, and being okay with letting them be and not feeling like I had to do it for them. And that was huge for me, because I'm like red, but I was drinking yellow, so I call myself a deep orange. And and so that was hard. It was hard for me for a while, but I really worked on personal development. And so then what I did is I drew that line in the sand that this is what I'm going to do, and I got to work. And I decided that every day, day in and day out, I was going to work for where I want to be, not how I feel. Because every day I do not feel like working. Every day I do not feel like messaging people. Every day I do not feel like pouring into other people. Every day I do not feel like going out and talking to somebody, or whatever it may be. I'd be lying to you if there wasn't, wouldn't it be awesome to just take a day and lay on the couch and have a Netflix? Like, let's just do it. But that's not going to get me to my goals. That's not going to get me where I'm going. And so I just made a decision that I was going to do more. I was going to stay up later. I was going to get up earlier. I was going to make the most use of my time. And I surrounded myself with like-minded people. Anybody who did not have the same thought process that I had, I was not around. I just wasn't. That was just a choice that I had, to be around like-minded people. And there's power in numbers and power with being around people that have similar goals and dreams that you have, plain and simple. And so I just set a number for myself. Who am I going to message? How many people am I going to message every day? How many people am I going to try and add new on Facebook every day? How many people I'm going to follow and unfollow on Instagram? How many people am I going to talk to? How many, you know, like, what am I going to do? What is my plan? And I just wrote it down and I went with it. And then I did more. So I actively asked and I did more. There you go.
Awesome. So just being super, super intentional. I love that. So what are you doing for your personal development every day? Is there something that you really like? Is it different all the time? Is there like a resource that you really like to use? Is there somebody you like to follow, or?
Well, you know, thanks to you and Christina, I am a big Earl Nightingale fan. So I listen to Earl Nightingale almost every day. And I hear a lot of the same things, but then I catch new things every time too. But then I also try to read something every day. So like right now, I just got the Miracle Morning for Network Marketers, because I am not a great morning person, but I've heard such great things about this book. And then I also just got a new book by Jen Hatfield. Heidi brought me to the Belong Tour, which was amazing. I got to hear Jen Hatfield speak and was just really moved by her. So I tried to just change it up a little bit. But everything I'm doing is very intentional, as far as you know, something that's going to also help my business, but also something that's going to fill up my heart and my soul. And I am hat maker. Thank you. I am a what did I say? Hatfield, just like she told me not to. It's hat maker. Jen Hatmaker. She's very funny. I'm a Christian and I'm a believer, and so the more that I can fill myself up with values and like-mindedness for my beliefs, it's important to me. It just is. So
I love that. That's awesome. So, okay, so you got all these loyal customers this month. Is it people, like, was it a lot of seeds that you were planting that just, it was finally the right time for them? So like a lot of follow-up? Was it a lot of cold market, warm market? Or kind of all over the board?
Yes. Some of it was seeds. Some of it was starting to ask people on my chicken list again. I do think that when you're intentional and you have that belief in yourself and you know in your core where you're going and what you're about, and you know your own truth, that opens up a whole new market of people having their eyes on you that maybe were looking, but now they're ready because they see something different in you that they want to be a part of. I definitely did some cold messaging on Instagram. I don't necessarily recommend that to everybody, but I work my Instagram really hard. It's been successful for me, but it's taken a long time. Instagram is not an overnight thing. I've been working my Instagram hard enough to build and to really get there. So don't start Instagram tonight and think you're automatically going to be like, oh, it takes a while to build and it takes consistency, and not getting discouraged that it's not growing maybe as fast as you'd like it to. And so I just think for me, it's been really not putting all of my eggs in one basket, but having a multitude of, I always have my gear on. I'm always talking to people. I've got my magnets on my car. I'm on social media. Like, I do a little bit of everything. People know what I'm about, and I'm okay with that.
I love it. I love it. And you're so good. Like, every time that I feel like I'm out and about with you, you're always talking to somebody new about the products or the business, and you're so confident about it. And so that's something that's, just so awesome. So I love that.
I'm going to add to that if that's okay. So here's the thing with that confidence, you guys, is that it doesn't happen overnight, but be yourself and be authentic. You don't have to be this amazing speaker or this whatever. The more, if you stutter, then stutter away, because that's who you are, and own it and be good with that. But again, like, know where your heart is and know your truth about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I can promise you, if your intention is to make money, purely to make money, you might do okay for a while, but that's not sustainable because there's more to it than that. And I just got really okay with being okay of what, not worrying about what the outcome was. And so one of my favorite quotes of The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale is, the opposite of courage is conformity. It's being like everybody else, because conformity is being comfortable, being okay with where you're at and where your circumstances are at. And when we heard Joel and Stephanie Dunn talk, that was something that really struck me. It was when Joel said, we're okay with being good, but it's the enemy who gives us the good, because then we stop, and God created us for greatness. And I think those two things really go together. But greatness comes with being okay of not conforming, of having the courage to not conform and have that 10 seconds of insane courage and do something different.
Yes. Oh, I love all of that. So awesome. Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, congratulations on an awesome month last month. You'll probably double that this month because you're a rock star.
I already got one today. Yay!
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. So all of you, if you have not already, Steps to Success, it should be printed out in your face, put it on your refrigerator or somewhere that you're going to see every single day, your bathroom mirror, whatever. This is so important, you guys. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Pam? Like, you have to have this in front of you to get it done. It has to be.
I carry it everywhere, and every time I filled up my loyal customers, I went and I printed another one. So I actually have 5 of them stapled together from last month, and I only signed 2 distributors, so I didn't fully complete my full Steps to Success. But I'm okay. I shouldn't say I'm okay with that, because I want to do the full Steps to Success, but at the same time, there's going to be months where I probably will sign more distributors, and we need both. And what I would say is that if you have anybody on your team, even if you're just getting started, Steps to Success is where it's at, and lead by example. The best thing you can do as a leader is be out there doing it yourself, filling out your own steps. It's not about you doing everything, but if you're doing that, they'll start doing it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know we say it all the time, but honestly, you guys, like, if you are completing your Steps to Success every single month and teaching your team to do that, you will get to the top of this business, I promise, because that's all we do over and over again. So that's awesome. Well, I want to open it up to questions, because I'm sure people have questions for Heidi and Pam. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions, anything that you guys have. And also, because we were talking a little bit about Expos in the beginning, if anybody has anything that they want to add to that, feel free. We can all learn from each other. So who has questions?
Pam, I just want to add something. Sorry, I'm way over
Josh
here.
does.
Okay. It's kind of a question. Well, it is a question, I guess. So let's just go back. Let's go back to, you said July is when you just said, all right, let's get this shit rolling, kind of thing. But prior to that, maybe, I don't know, maybe the business was tough, or you felt like your head against the wall, whatever, or I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but nothing's happening. And then you made the switch. You made it happen. You stayed consistent. You did whatever it took, and now you're seeing success with it. I just kind of I want you to explain what that feels like thinking back to maybe how you felt. Let's say maybe in June or early July prior to seeing some success. And then what I'm really getting at is once you feel that success and once you see the benefit of what you put in, the work you put in, your mind has got to be completely changed. All you see and feel is just good. And however you can explain that to everybody, I think that would be great, because I think Crystal and I both know what it feels like to just be damn, I feel like we're doing all the right things, but what's going on? But then I'm telling you, once you start to see some success and feel that success, every bit of that hard work you put in, every bit of that oh man, it feels like you're complaining kind of or whatever, but all that complaining or all that stress, whatever, just goes away. It feels like this is what it's all about. And if you can explain that, and however the wording is just, if you can explain that to everybody, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, well, I think, there's so many things I could say. I think first of all, negativity festers and it spreads like wildfire very, very quickly. And as soon as you say something negative, the next person jumps on your bandwagon way sooner than they jump on your bandwagon when you're rah-rah, right? Okay. So it festers and it spews and it becomes more, and then it becomes more and more, and it's a cyclical thing. So then you feel crappier, so then you do less. Well, then you get less results, and then you feel even crappier, and you know, it's this whole cyclical thing. But when you make that, and I can't even, I can tell you in a second what the shift was for me, but I actually remember seeing a Tony Robbins video, and I think this is perfect because I will tell everybody. I had somebody the other day, one of my team members messaging me, and she was really discouraged, and I just said, listen, the only thing that will change how you're feeling right now is to go do something.
Exactly.
Go do something. Don't even, you know, I used to say, take a 10-minute pity party and have some chocolate and then pull up your big girl panties and go on with it. Nope, don't even do that. Go do something that will change how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is you've got some belief, but then you're not necessarily seeing the results. So you're like, and that's that whole cyclical thing. But when you make that decision to do something, when you take some action, you get more results. When you get more results, your belief level starts to go up again. When your belief level goes up, you take more action. More action leads to more results. So it's this whole three-way thing, but it can very easily go the opposite way too. It's just like going to the gym. Not necessarily that easy to get started, but boy, it's really easy to stop going to the gym, right? Mm-hmm. It just, it becomes more like a habit. And, it's so easy to get frustrated and discouraged. And, my business is not where it was 3 years ago by any stretch of the imagination. And it can be discouraging and frustrating, and you feel like you're working so hard, and you feel like I felt like, what's wrong with me? What am I not doing right? And I was comparing myself to everybody else, and why are they moving fast and I'm not, and I'm doing all this, and I have I've got these people in my team that I believe in so much, and I see this amazing potential, and why aren't they doing it? What are they doing? And why aren't they, whatever, and da-da-da-da. Like, it just goes on and on and on. And then you really start to doubt yourself and where you're at and what you're about and why you're doing. And not that I want you to know right now, like, I'm a lifer, I'm not going anywhere, but it's more that doubt within yourself. Like, am I meant for this? Do I have it in me? All those things. We've probably all felt them from time to time. And it can be really hard. And so here's what happened is, I knew I had a big problem when I started looking. The first step is admittance, right? When I was watching other people promote and have success, and I wasn't even very happy for them. Like, how bad is that you're looking at other people and the only thing I could think of is, why isn't that me? Like, that's selfish and horrible, but it's where I was at. I was just mentally, I was so defeated. And so it's kind of my whole, like, looking to the side thing that got me. I saw a bunch of these other leaders that were doing this group, and I could tell they were on fire and they were excited, and I messaged this one Triple, and I was like, Amanda, what are you guys doing? And she kind of told me, and I was like, oh, I wish I had a group like that, kind of did that thing. And she was like, well, why don't you start your own? I'm like, oh my God, that would be so much work. I could never do that. Like, and then it was like exhausting to think about. And then I just started thinking about it a little bit more, and I'm like, why not me? Who else is going to do it for me? Like, if I'm going to do something, I got to do it. I got to change. And that's kind of how it all started for me. And again, you get some like-minded people together, and boom, it just explodes. And I don't know, that was probably a really long answer, but it's just a whole different ballgame. My blinders are on. Like, I'm so excited for everybody else and the success that they're having. And that doesn't mean that I don't want success for myself, but I can be happy for that person and their success and still be pushing hard and working for the success that I'm going for. And as long as I am working every day towards my worthy goal, towards what I am looking to do, and I know when I go to bed at the end of the night that I did the best I could and I did as much as I could, then there's nothing else I can ask for. And I really just have that faith that my hard work, my good headspace, my intention, all of the things that I'm doing are going to pay off. Like, I know it. I believe it.
I love it. Good stuff.
Good stuff, definitely. Awesome. That's what we're looking for.
I love
Awesome.
it. I could listen to Pam talk all day.
Yeah.
All right. Ask questions. I know you guys have questions. If you are too afraid to speak up, you can certainly put it in the chat box. Alicia said, what is the best way to bring people to your booth at vendor events? Heidi?
I would say I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've done a lot of vendor shows, and they've all been a little bit different. But one of the things that is difficult for me is to kind of hone it in, right? Like, we have 44 amazing products, and I love all of them, and I feel like all of them deserve a spot on my table. But at the end of the day, when somebody walks by your table and your entire products line is lying there, they don't even, their brains can't process that. So I've really stripped my table down to keep it really simple and just focus on the wraps and, wow, green samples. Those are the 3 things that I will do at a vendor show. Excuse me, at the last table, I always have wraps, dry wraps that I've used laying on my table at the, excuse me, at the bridal show. I just had, it was a 6-foot table, I think, and we had 4 clipboard things of where people could pick it up. They could pick it up and talk. It's kind of like the lap board thing. We just had our drawing slips just in here so they could grab one out. And we had 4 wraps laid out on the table, and then 4 of these with drawing slips and pens. And so that took up a lot of our table. And so I had a little bit of just a couple products, just really keep it simple so that people can zero in on something on your table, and then you can always approach them and say, hey, have you heard of It Works? Have you tried our greens? Get them, and don't stand behind your table, and definitely do not ever sit down behind your table and look at your phone.
Good stuff.
Stay home. Stay home if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Nobody will talk to you. Nobody will make eye contact with you. You are wasting your time if you're going to do a vendor show and you're going to sit at the table or at the chair that's provided and be afraid to talk to people. Stand in front of your table, hand out wow samples, ask them how they're doing, comment on what they're doing. Oh, it looks like you found something fun at the Scentsy table. What'd you get? Talk to people, make conversation, be a real human being. Don't be annoying. Don't be flashing your Blitz cards in people's faces. Read people's body language. You're going to know if somebody's going to walk by and they're not going to want to talk to you, and that's okay. Not everybody has to talk to you, but really keep your table simple and sample greens and sample wow. Those are the 2 biggest things. And then just make sure that your wraps are available and people can look at them, and maybe it's a poster. If you don't have a banner, just get some before and after pictures, that kind of stuff. Just keep it simple and focus on 2 or 3 things.
Yeah, I totally agree. People love free. They love samples. So even sometimes we've done in the past where we've done a sign and just said free samples, and people will come over because they're like, oh, what are you guys sampling? They usually think it's a wrap, which obviously it's not. But it's a great way to, oh, we're sampling our greens, or we're doing wow samples, or whatever it may be. People love that. And something else, I don't know if any of you have done this, but if you can have your diffuser going with your essential oils. Oh my gosh. I have gotten so many people to come over to our table because of the diffuser and essential oils. And, of course, we know that that's not our main product by any means, but if it gets them over to our booth and it lets me start talking to them, it opens the door, then that's great. And that's that right now too, that's a great way to open the door for, these parties, essential oil parties, different things that you can do with those. So I would also say have the essential oils going, or the diffuser going. And I know a lot of times that people don't have like plugins. So what I've done is I've just taken, like, I have a battery pack. You can find these anywhere. This is a big one. This lasts for hours and hours. But you can get these portable battery packs and then just plug your cord into this. And I just put it right underneath the tablecloth so you can't see it. And I have this really pretty, like, I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's like a glass little, like, what would you call that? Like a stand kind of thing. And it has diamonds around it.
That gives height.
Yeah, it just kind of gives it height, and it's sparkly. Like, that's another thing. I feel like sparkles, especially these women's events, like, people are drawn to the bling. Like, have some bling, have some pretty on your table, because people will come over. Like, I always laugh. Anybody who's done an expo with me knows this. I think it's the funniest thing in the world. I have these little green foam sparkly balls, and I have so many people. They're from Michael's. They come out around Halloween time. I have so many people that come over, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, do you sell these? Where can I get?" Like, it's the funniest thing ever. I've had people take them, like, take one and try and
eat them.
Yeah,
They think they're chocolate wrapped in like lime green aluminum foil, and they think they're chocolate. I'm like, dude, that's styrofoam. Don't eat it. And little girl, like, I have fake plastic diamonds that I probably got at Michael's or Hobby Lobby too. And there's little girls that are like, "Can I have this?" I'm like, "You can't have my diamond. It's my sparkly table stuff." And their moms are always like, "No, you can't take her stuff." But sparkle definitely attracts people for sure.
Yeah. So
Oh, here's
definitely.
another tip for if you guys have any friends who sell 31, Pam's raising her hand. You can go next, Pam.
Now we're on a topic. We're like,
if you have any friends who are 31 vendors, ask them if they would do you a favor and order. They have these acrylic riser thingies, and they come in a set of 3, and they're just clear acrylic, and they say 31 on the top, but it's tiny, you can't see it. Just to provide some elevation on your table, because it looks way prettier. It's more eye-catching if you can get things off of the surface of your table and provide a little elevation. And they nest together really, really slick, so they're compact to carry along. I think they cost me like $25 or $30, which it was totally, for me, it was worth the investment. So if you guys have any friends who sell 31 and would be willing to order them out of their 31 back office, they're awesome. The other thing that they also have these tabletop things. They're like an easel, but I don't have one handy. You can put a sign on either side, just holds an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and they're super slick because they're not hard acrylic like sign holders that you can get at office places. They just fold up flat, and they're super easy to transport. So reach out to your 31 friends who, like, you know well enough to be like, "Hey, can you order something cool out of your back office for me?" They would probably do that for you. And so, yeah, those are 2 things that I love, and they just make my table way nicer. So anyway,
I love it. Good tip.
I was just going to add that one thing I do at my table that I feel like brings people in, definitely the diffuser, but I also have a slideshow running on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
So I have live pictures that are constantly running. I just put my iPad on an easel and run that with different pictures.
Yep, good stuff. I like that.
If you're looking to brush up your booth, Halloween just happened, so everything's on sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of the green, and it's like it's a good green. So right now is a good time to hit up, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It's a really good time to stock up on some of that stuff at a good price. So definitely.
One thing I'll say about the Expos is there was a guy that had a booth next to us, and we actually ended up not liking the guy, but actually Pam was there, I think. He had these like big pitchers of water with all the cut up fruit inside of them, and Crystal's like, "Yeah, he's not supposed to be doing that, blah, 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 blah." The bottom line, he did it, and he had more people visit his booth than I've ever seen visit a booth, and it's because they were just coming to his booth for the free water, but he was able to make conversation with them. So if it is something that, if it's a spot that you think that it could happen, that's like, I don't know, it's really eye-catching. Like, people love that stuff, that infused water. If you're cutting up cucumber or lemons or strawberries or kiwi or whatever and putting it in the water in one of those clear pitchers, it really did work. Like, it was pretty major how many people he had visit his booth. So
there's so many great ideas. Like, basically, yeah, like, people love free stuff. So we've never done that, but
Yeah, we haven't, but this guy
I actually kind of forgot about that. Yeah. Lisa, I know you had said that you have a tip about follow-up. Are you still on? Lisa Smith?
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
So something I've really sucked at is my follow-up. I'll admit that's my downfall in my business because I'll follow up a couple times and then that'll be kind of it. So Denise and I did an event last week and we had a table set up there. And one thing we were thinking, we were kind of saying goodbye is, why don't we come back down here? Because it was 2 hours away. It was down in Winona. Let's set up one night where if people want to come and claim their like half off wrap, we already have an event set up. Because the thought to me of calling all these people, like what if they actually want to book a party or want to do something, which is awesome. But if I have like several people that want parties 2 hours away on different nights, I mean like with schedules and kids and all that stuff, that was really overwhelming to me, you know, once I started thinking of the logistics. So what we did is we booked a room, $25, and we're having like a little mini spa party tomorrow night, a wrap party, and we invited people to it. So I just wanted to suggest that, like when you go to call people to follow up and it's gone really well, already have an event set up that you can invite them to if you think that you would just like to do, you know, kind of a big together. And then when you're face to face with them again, use that as an opportunity to book more events off of that. So that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
Heidi, you go ahead.
Everybody at once.
That was our intention with our bridal show. I printed just regular labels like we put on our Blitz card, and we created a follow-up event to invite our brides to as well. And we just put another sticker on the Blitz card with the time and location and all that. But our table was so overrun, like it was just a crazy bridal show, and we didn't have time to talk about that. And so that was it. I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's particularly really brilliant if it's a smaller event, because you know you'll find that people don't necessarily want to wrap right this second. But they would maybe come to a follow-up. So I think, yeah, that's a great idea, Lisa. We tried it for our bridal show, but it was just too crazy. We didn't have a chance to talk to people that much to invite them. So, but I think that's a great idea.
I was just going to add, I've tried that before and not had great success with it, but what works for one doesn't mean it won't work for another. So I'm really excited and curious to hear how it goes for you. But I also want to say, and with respect, that I understand that everybody's schedule is different and what they can do with their kids and everything is different. That, okay, if you don't know me, like I'm an all-in kind of person. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Like I'm going to do it. And that's how, when I joined, I went Ruby in 9 days. I got in the car and I just drove everywhere. If you wanted a wrap, perfect, I'll go. And I went to Iowa. And if you have that many leads, then yeah, you might be missing your kids for, you know, activity here and there, and you might be missing whatever it may be. Freaking run with it. When you have any kind of momentum and excitement, you have got to run with it and go. And so you can be smart about your time and book multiple things one weekend and, you know, whatever. And again, everybody's schedule is different, and so it might not work for one person for the next, but don't think that okay, maybe you're crazy because I'm crazy, but don't think that you're crazy by saying, I'm going. I'm just going to drive. I'm going to go. Go. Who cares? Go, because you never know that person might be your next rock star.
Love what you said. That's amazing, because you going creates more excitement. They're going to think you're nuts, and you're going to say, yes, I am. And I'm excited about this thing, man. I mean, I like what Pam says here. Pam didn't throw in, I have, you know, kids, they play softball, they're in band, I'm driving everywhere. You're a very busy person, but you just get it done. You make no excuses. And I mean, not everybody knows your story or how many kids you have or how busy you are. You know, you got kids in band and softball and all that and traveling sports. So it's just busy people get more stuff done, actually. And then for somebody to say, I have these leads, but I'm too busy for them. Well, guess what? Some people don't have leads, and they would die to have those leads that you have right now. So, I mean, if you're doing nothing with your leads, that's tough. That's really tough. If you have leads or you have somebody that wants to wrap, man, go get that wrap on them or take care of them leads. Follow up immediately.
Yep. Well, and that's just like yeah, you go with the excitement. But I will say too, I mean, Lisa and Heidi are both so right. Like, you also, working smarter, not harder is good too. And so that's why I'm really excited and curious to hear how it goes for you, Lisa, because I mean, anything that, putting new tools in our toolbox to up our game is awesome. And if this ends up working out for you and you get good tips and tools from it, oh my gosh, you're certainly working smarter, not harder. I just wanted to touch base for maybe the new people of like, sometimes you just got to say yes and do it. That doesn't mean that, it's harder to say yes when you've got 6 kids at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely two sides to it. But I think one thing that's really cool, Lisa, is that like you and Denise doing it together, coming together. I think that that's really cool. So definitely let us know how it goes. And it's probably more than likely you're going to get even more leads from it, and you're going to have to go back up there again. So it's all good, right? Absolutely. All right, we have 4 minutes left before we say goodnight. What questions do people have? Ask now, or how's that saying go?
Forever hold your peace.
Speak now or forever hold. Yeah.
Actually, Crystal, I have a question for you.
What's up?
I know that you were asking for people to do the vendor show this weekend. Have you found anybody for that?
I gave it up because nobody was like giving me a for sure answer, and I just couldn't, like, I didn't have the time to organize it all with the cruise
Right.
coming and stuff and me not being here. So I just told Amanda to give it to another team. I know she did just post on her Facebook page that she has an opening if anybody wants it. So, I mean, if somebody wants to take it and run with it and organize it, I mean, it's a great opportunity. It's just hard because I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be on the cruise.
Right. Okay.
All right. Anything else, guys? Don't be shy. I think we got some really good stuff. So going once, going twice. All right.
Okay, no, okay.
Feel it. I'm like,
I'm sorry. I sat here and hesitated for no reason. I have a pretty generic question, I guess. I feel it's generic, but beginning of the month, I like to focus on signing DTs. So I'm just wondering.
did we lose her?
She's muted.
Muted herself.
Oh, I muted the whole time. Oh, sorry. So it's kind of like a pretty generic question, but I like to focus on signing DTs, especially in the beginning of the month. And I'm just wondering if you guys have, the 3 of you, if you can give us like the top things, really good tips that you do to sign DTs. It keeps muting me.
No,
I don't know why.
No, we got it. We got it all. A couple tips on signing distributors. That was the question, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. I just feel like you're going to get out there what you're focusing on. So if your focus is signing distributors, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the opportunities out there. That's what your main focus is going to be. I think if you have distributor leads already, you want to make sure that you're continuing to follow up with them. Like, no matter, until they have said, I think it was Pam that said it in her video last week, until they have said, no, leave me alone, or they've died, they do not come off the follow-up list. And I loved that, because you never know where people are at, and things change all the time. So if your focus is at the beginning of the month signing distributors, make sure that that's when you're intentional about your prospect follow-up with those distributors, and just relate to them like, hey, I know life gets crazy and whatever, but it's a new month. And what I've been using a lot with people right now is, that I tell them I've been in this business 6 years, and I know that once January hits, like, everybody wants what we have and stuff gets crazy. So I want to get you in now so we can kind of get your feet wet, get you trained in, so that when we hit January, you're ready to skyrocket and make this thing a huge success in 2017. So I'm just, I'm doing a lot of voice messaging. I'm really confident when I talk to them, but I'm doing a lot of that. Another great way for distributors is make sure you're following up with your loyal customers. Anybody who says that they are absolutely loving the products, has a testimony, you need to talk to them about being a distributor, because that's all they need to do is share their testimony with people and their excitement for the product. So when I'm really like doing my follow-up with just our prospects that I have, that's kind of the things that I'm focusing on. And then if I have a point where I don't feel like I have a lot of leads, then I'm networking. Like, okay, where can I build relationships? Who do I think would be good at this? Let me start building this relationship and kind of getting the feelers out there so that I have follow-up to do. So I guess that would be my tip. I don't know. How about you guys, Pam, Heidi? Or anybody who has a tip, really.
You want to go, Heidi? Okay. So, okay. First of all, and I just kind of say how it is. Is that okay? I don't ever focus one time of the month more than another time of the month to sign distributors or customers. Every day I think I'm going to have somebody join my team. I offer the products and the opportunity the same to everybody equally, and I go into it knowing that they're going to join my team. I pray that it's today, but if it's not, the timing will be right and they will join my team. So I think you got to go into it with intention and mindset of what you're doing. And it depends on what the person is. If it's somebody I've been talking to for a long time, like I'm going to mirror them. If they're, you know, a really like somebody like Lisa Smith, who's so sweet and she's whatever, if I go into her full force like Pam Hadler can be, she's not going to really want anything to do with me when she doesn't really know me that well. So I'm going to more mirror kind of her sweetness or whatever. But then maybe I'm talking to Janessa and she's and, you know, all sweet and whatever. I'm going to mirror her. I think that's going to help with your building those relationships and talking to people. But, you know, I'm also okay being really bold with people too. And so maybe it's somebody that hasn't messaged me back, that they talked about wanting to join my team, but that I haven't heard back from them. You know, you could go really sweet and be like, gosh, I'm sorry if I offended you. Or what if you sent them a message and said, have you been abducted by aliens?
You're amazing.
Like, it's weird, right? But here's the deal. Like, they're going to laugh at it. Send them a weird, funny GIF or something like that. If it's somebody I really want on my team, I am okay messaging them and saying, here's the deal. This might come from left field or seem really crazy, but I love you. I love what you're about. I think you're amazing. I just really think you could rock this business, and I would love to work with you. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Or even if I'm talking to somebody who wants to be a loyal customer, maybe they want to do my hair, skin, and nail challenge, and they say, I don't really have the money. I will always say to them, oh, I totally understand. I have been there. Have you ever thought about doing what I do to make some extra money? Because that's the person who needs this opportunity, right? The person who says they can't even, you know, afford a $33 hair, skin, and nails. Pretty sure that they need this opportunity. They need some freedom. They need some breathing room. And so I just go into every opportunity equal, knowing I'm going to present product, but I'm also always going to present opportunity, and I'm going to let them make the choice. And if the choice is a no today, then I'll come back with them another day. Because unless they join my team, they tell me do not ever contact me again, or they die, they do not go off my list. They just don't. But that's where you have to be good at follow-up. If you're not going to do follow-up, you probably are in the wrong business. So,
yes.
Perfect.
I don't know if that helped, but.
No, it really did. It's okay to keep it real with me.
And, you know, like, be okay signing a distributor on November 29th. Like, wake up and be like, it's the end of the month. I'm so getting a new distributor today. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know you. You seem really sweet, but that threw me for a loop. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? No, go after all of them. Go.
Yeah, no, but I know what you mean, Naomi, because like a lot of people, like a lot of videos and different training videos out there, everybody says like, you know, beginning of the month you focus on this, so the end of the month you can get the volume and get it where you need. But I totally agree. Like I'm never saying like, okay, I'm only gonna sign distributors right now. I'm not gonna worry about loyal customers or vice versa. You just need to always be there to offer something to them. We have a solution for everybody, so whatever they're looking for.
Right. Yeah, I definitely don't focus on one or the other. I just, in the beginning of the month, it's nice to do you have this whole month and the next 2 months to get your bonus.
Yep. Absolutely. And when you're going for those promotions and stuff too, you're absolutely right. Because it's nice if you can get your boxes filled that you need for your promotion and then start working with them the rest of the month to get the volume to where it needs to be. So, but just take what you get and what's thrown at you, and it all works out in the end. So. Awesome. Well, we're going to end on that note. We're 5 minutes over. So thank you guys, everybody, for being on. Next week, we will be just getting home from the cruise. So my plan is to still absolutely have our team Zoom next Tuesday. I'm guessing there's going to be some exciting things announced over the next couple of days. I've seen those little elf hints, and I'm sure they're going to throw some sort of craziness out at us. So the plan is to connect next Tuesday. If for some reason we are delayed or whatever, we'll get it figured out. So thank you guys for being on. We'll see you next week, and have an awesome rest of the week, everybody. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks, Pam.
Have a good one, guys.
Good night.